Imagine making more money as a manager at a store than as a teacher. That was seen on the cable news network News Nation. I fear that's part of the reason that we're having this shortage, is we're just not paying these people enough to retain them. Lindsay, you're a teacher in the past, right?
Yes, sir.
And you quit teaching after 15 years as a high school English teacher.
Yes.
What pushed you across the line?
I think there are so many things, right? I think it's tremendously important for people to understand that when you create a learning environment for a child, you're also creating a working environment for a teacher. And you have to hold up and invest in your human capital. And I just didn't feel that investment in the human capital at many of the places that I taught. I was a victim of trauma at the hands of one of my students when I was a first-year teacher. I've chosen other people's children over my own many times over 16 years in the field. And I think it's so important that we understand that the investment in these human beings, the adult human beings, is the investment in the children. And it's just not happening.
What do we need from the parents? Because if I think back to our kids going to school, and they had classmates that Robin and I looked at them and thought, were you raised by wolves? I mean, seriously, these kids and the teachers had to put up with this. And I'm thinking, where are the parents in this? For common human decency.
I think part of the problem is, though, that we don't want to have the real conversation of how the family unit has changed and morphed over the course of the last several decades, where there's many more single-parent households today than ever before. But life is expensive. So even in two-parent households, parents both working full-time, gone from 8 to 6, 8 to 7, come home, have to cook, take care of the kids, feed them, shower them, then sit down and do homework. I mean, most parents don't want to do that. Now, I've been blessed where I have a good job where I can sit down with my kid and do the homework with them. But when we examine it, we have to talk about the failures within our community. We have to talk about the failures in the family structure and how people are abandoning their children, and therefore it's having a detrimental effect in the education system. We have to talk about the bureaucracy and how the bureaucracy has failed the institutions of education, because you have bureaucrats making policy, not the ones in the classroom that know what the problems are. And it really has created a system, in a sense, where there's no accountability. Who's been held responsible? If we have a 25% proficiency rate amongst graduating seniors, why aren't any of the bureaucrats ever fired or held accountable for that?
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.